Hey, you guys, it's Marcelle Abel here. I am the team leader for Team Fit for Life, and I want to welcome you to your very first day of Coach Basics. All right, so I know that you're probably thinking, what the heck do I do now? I signed up as a coach. There's all this information that you're giving me, and I'm not really sure what to do with it. And that's perfectly normal. I will tell you guys, it took me like a few weeks to even get my bearings when I first signed up as a coach. I had no idea what I was doing or what I should be doing or any of that. I just kind of jumped in. But that's why I'm making this video. I want to pave the way for you guys. I want this to be as simplistic and not simple, because you are gonna have to work hard, but I want it to be something that you can follow along with these guidelines to help you build your business without feeling as overwhelmed as I did. But just to touch on that, it's totally normal and it's totally okay to feel overwhelmed, because this is a big deal. I mean, you have made a choice to start a business. This is like, this is another job for you. So whether that's you have, a full-time job already or you have a family at home, this is just one more thing you're adding to your life. And it is a really big deal, but I want to make this the best possible journey for you. So we're going to go over a couple of things that you can do in your very first week as a coach. So this entire week, we are going to be touching on very important aspects that you need to know in order to build your business. But today we're going to talk about kind of an overall, get the cobwebs out. Let's kind of just breathe a little bit and talk about what to expect and what you can do from here on out. Okay. So, like I said, it's okay to be overwhelmed. It doesn't mean that you are going to be bad at this. It doesn't mean that you can't learn along the way. It just means that it's new. And it means that there's a lot of information and resources, which is great that you have that many, or you have that much, resources at your fingertips. That didn't come out right, but I think you understand what I'm trying to say. The world is your oyster. You have all this information, all right? And it just will take time to kind of go through it a little bit. So an important thing that I suggest you do and kind of keep in your mind, whether you have a job or a family or whatever that may be, whatever your other priorities are, determine the hours that you're going to commit to this business. Does that mean that you're going to get up a little bit earlier in the morning and put, 30 to 60 minutes into your business? Does that mean that you're going to work on your lunch break? Does that mean that you are going to work when your kids are napping? Does that mean that you're going to work after the kids go to bed at night or after you get off work, at 5 or 6 in the evening? Whatever that may be, determine in your head what the best time of the day, and it doesn't have to be one time of the day, but determine what times of the day you are going to commit to this business. Now, let me go back. That key word there is commit. And that kind of goes into my next tip here for this business is commit yourself. Okay. We always say in this business, where are you going to be in 1 year from now? And you're going to hear that a lot through a lot of coaches, but it's true. You got to commit to yourself and commit to this business for 1 year to really see the best benefits. When I first started as a brand new coach, like I said, I had no idea what I was doing. But once I got to that 1 year mark and I looked back at all the things that I had learned and I looked at my consistency and my focus on the business, so much had changed. And I'm so glad that I did not give up on those days that I thought it was hard or I didn't know what to do or I just got too busy. So 1 year can make a huge difference in your business and in your life. So if you can commit to 1 year, then you are going to see such a great benefit if you are consistently doing those things that we're going to be talking about. Okay. So determine those business hours on when you are going to commit to this business, because if you aren't consistent with those days and those hours, you're not going to see that momentum grow. You're not going to see your business continue to grow and blossom, because what's really, really hard is that if you continue to give up, because every time you give up, you have to start all over again. But if you have that plan and you have that routine that you are going to commit to these particular business hours and days, then you're going to see growth every single week, every single month. I promise you. Okay. My next suggestion in the first week as a coach is to let the world know what you're doing, right? Now, I have a couple of tips on how to do that the right way and how to do that the wrong way. And I prefer you do it the right way. I'm sure you do too, okay? So the best way to do this is to really think about, why are you becoming a coach? So instead of just telling the world, guess what, everybody, I'm a Beachbody coach, that's really not going to allow for that connection with people, okay? Because our job as a coach is to really connect with people and to inspire them and encourage them and motivate them. And by sharing your true story about why you became a coach, that's going to start that connection process. So I encourage you to think really, really hard. Why did you become a coach? And there's no right or wrong answer. Did you become a coach because you want that accountability in your life? Did you become a coach because you eventually want to replace your income? Did you become a coach because you want to be able to travel the world and you want to be able to pay off debt, or whatever your goal may be in this business? It's your goal. But I encourage you to be completely heartfelt and authentic when you announce this to the world, okay? I highly encourage that you do add a picture of yourself, something that really shows who you are. Along with this picture, really dig into that authentic part of you and why you want to do this as a business. I suggest that you don't. I highly encourage you to not post your link to your website and just say, guess what? I'm a coach. Here's my link. Message me if you want to buy a challenge pack. Because the one thing that will do is that will scare people away, because all they're going to see is, she wants to sell me something. This is not a selling journey, okay? This is a sharing journey. This is sharing why you want to be a coach, how it's going to change your life. And I encourage you to do that within your first week. The sooner, the better, okay? Like I said, add a picture of yourself, something that is clear, something that is not blurry, something that isn't you in a crowd of people, something that is authentically you, whether that's you with your family, whether you're a parent, whether that's you doing whatever you love, if you are a snowboarder or a runner or, whatever it may be, show who you are, okay? And then tell your story, because there's a lot of power that comes from your story, okay? The next thing on the list, and this might come as a surprise to you, but it's to change your profile picture. And this was something that it actually took me a while to kind of figure out. But whatever form of social media that you are using, and I'll tell you that my business is probably 90 to 95% from social media. So it's huge, okay? Whether that's Instagram or Facebook or whatever you are using or you are going to be using, change your profile picture. Because guess what? That form of social media is now your storefront. This is how you can reach people from all over US and Canada, all over the world, and make those connections with them. So if you have a profile picture of what you ate for breakfast, or maybe you have a horse, or maybe it's your child, or maybe it's a sunset, that doesn't tell people who you are. That doesn't show people that you are a professional. All right. As much as I would love to have a picture of my running shoes, or, a beautiful mountain, or whatever it may be, that's not really professional. So it needs to be a picture of you. And it doesn't mean that it can't be a picture of you and your family, but it needs to be something that's crisp and clean and professional looking. Now, you don't have to go out and take professional pictures, but find something that when people look at it, they think, I trust this person. This is a real picture. This is a real person. And I can see how I can connect with this person. So changing your profile picture, and keep in mind that we don't want to have pictures from maybe our college days where we are, in the middle of a party or anything. We are professionals, and this is a real business. And on that note, changing your Facebook banner, that's a huge one too. Again, this tells a story about who you are, okay? Next on the list for what you can do in your first week is you're going to set a date for a challenge group. Now, I know that seems kind of scary, especially as a new coach. You're like, what? Put the brakes on. I don't even know what I'm doing. And that's okay. You don't have to know what you're doing. That's why you have me or your upline coach, whoever that may be, okay? But you are going to set a date for a challenge group, because guess what? That's one of the cornerstones of being a coach. is to run challenge groups. So there are so many resources available to you to help you learn how to run a challenge group. There's calls from myself, from team calls. There are videos that I have made. There's plenty of training in the Coach Online office. You are not alone in this, all right? So don't worry about the actual running of the group right now. That will be taken care of. But it's about actually setting a date. Because once you set a date, this is where you start to take those action steps in order to start building your business, okay? So whether you have had a great transformation or whether you have not even started your program, either way, you're going to set a date. Now, I want to go back real quick to talking about your announcement as a coach. Now, if you have had a really great transformation and you do have a before and after, absolutely use that picture, okay? Because you're also going to be using that picture if you have had that transformation when you talk about your challenge group and when you're going to start inviting to that challenge group. Okay, so back to the date. We're going to set a date for a challenge group. Now, I personally suggest it's about 3 weeks from now, because what you want to do is you want to have enough time to invite people and to promote your challenge group. And then when people order, it usually takes about 7 to 9 days for the program to arrive. So you want to leave that week or so in there for people to receive their packages, okay? So give yourself about 3 weeks. So look at the calendar, look at 3 weeks, what's that going to be? All right, next step. You are going to start an invite list. So I suggest at this point in time, this week, write down a list of 20 people that you would like to invite. Whether that's, the people you want to do this with you, whether that's friends or family, coworkers, whoever that you think might benefit from doing a group like this, you're going to go ahead and you're going to reach out to them. So I don't suggest that you simply just post something on Facebook and wait for people to come to you. Because the majority of when I first started, the majority of people that joined my first challenge group were the people that I personally reached out to. And this is what happens when you reach out to people, is it shows them that you're thinking of them. And there is a right way to go about inviting people, and there's a wrong way to go about inviting people. And if you keep the word adding, or the phrase adding value in mind when you're inviting people, then that's going to make a huge difference. So what you don't want to do is you don't want to invite people with a message like this. Hey, so-and-so, I am hosting an online challenge group, and I'll be doing the 21-day fix, and I think you could really benefit from it. So that's kind of the wrong way to go about it, because that might put in someone's head, what does she think I'm fat? What does she think I'm not good enough? Does she think, that just puts a lot of assumptions in people's minds. But if you go about the invite like this, hey, so-and-so, I'm doing an online challenge group, and I am so excited. Excuse me. As you may have seen, I lost 15 pounds by doing this program, and I'm really excited to share it with my friends and family. If you would like to join us, it's going to be with some accountability, and we are going to support each other. We're going to learn new recipes. It's going to be a really fun way for all of us to reach some goals together. I'd love for you to join us. See, that leaves it open, and that gives them a little more detail about what this group is going to be without making them feel cornered or insulted. So that way is a really good way to do a personal invite. And I suggest the personal invites over mass posts on Facebook or Instagram, okay? Because you're going to be able to have those one-on-one conversations and those connections. Not to say that you cannot do a mass post, but don't make that your main focus. So when you have that list of 20 people, that's going to be the start of your contact list. And you want to make sure that you always have a contact list, okay? And it could be just a list of names. That's fine. Another tip that I have for you in your first week is we are going to start doing something called the Power of Threes. That is a relationship building process. And that's also a good way to have control over your contacts and see who you've talked to and what phase you are in that. We will go over that later in the week, but that is going to be something that we're going to talk about in terms of how you are going to get started this week. All right. Lastly, and this is so important, you guys, is to make sure that you get your personal development. Now, when I sent you your welcome email, I did suggest that you get the book, The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. Now, let me tell you a little story about personal development. And a little confession here. I did not do personal development my first year as a coach, and that was wrong. That was hugely wrong. I missed out on so much valuable information and self-motivation throughout that. And it stunk that I wasted that year by not doing this, because it is so incredibly important that you do personal development. And here is why. You cannot be the best coach, the best friend, the best employee, the best spouse if you aren't continuously working on yourself. And that's what personal development means, is if you are willing to grow and work on yourself, you will see improvements in the rest of your life, throughout every aspect of your life. Because the more you learn and the more you evolve and the more you grow, the more you're able to give, okay? And your business will only grow as much as you are willing to grow yourself. Remember that. If you find yourself stuck, if you find yourself in a rut, go for that personal development. That makes a huge difference to me. So make sure that you get that book and you start reading that, because that is one of our 3 vital behaviors, is personal development. And there's a good reason for that, like I said. All right, so we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here, but I want you to keep an open mind. I want you to know that there are resources available to you, and you need to be able to put on your CEO hat, right? Because this is your business. This is your thing. I, as your upline, or whoever may be your upline coach, is here to guide you and help you and support you and cheer you on along this journey. But when it comes down to it, it is up to you to take the steps, okay? So I hope you enjoy the rest of the week and all the stuff that we are going to talk about, but make sure that you are taking these steps that we talked about today in your first week as a coach. And smile. This is going to be a fantastic journey and a life changer for you, and I'm really excited to be a part of it. All right, guys. Thanks.